CJ, Tommy, and Claude are some of the most famous protagonists in gaming. Each of them had their own video game to flesh out their storylines, personalities, and ambitions. I mean, these games were landmarks in the industry, starting with GTA 3, which revolutionized 3D open worlds when released in 2001 on the PS2. After that came Vice City in 2002, which also released on the PlayStation 2, which brought the flashy 80s Miami vibe that everyone loves. And finally, San Andreas in 2004 pushed things further with its massive map with 3 different cities, RPG style features, and cultural impact which still lingers today. With all 3 being classics in their own right, it only made sense for Rockstar to fuse them into one package. GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas remade with improved graphics, extra gameplay features, and updated performance for newer consoles. On paper, it sounded like the perfect way to bring these games back, but when Rockstar released the trilogy in late 2021, it didn't launch to much praise from fans, including me, and there were a few reasons why. 4 years later though, has Rockstar fixed their mistakes? After removing Grove Street Games, the studio that originally worked on it, Rockstar put their own team on the project and began slowly repairing the damage. And in my opinion, they actually managed to fix a lot. So, it's November 2021 and Rockstar has finally dropped the GTA Trilogy after teasing it the month prior in October. And people were not happy.
Let me remember small change.
Hey, get yourself a beer, son.
The trilogy was a buggy mess from the start. Characters had broken animations, NPC models looked deformed, and many of the graphics did look rushed. There were constant crashes, physical glitches, and players even found themselves getting flung hundreds of feet in the air just by standing in the wrong spot or driving certain vehicles. The lighting was one of the biggest complaints though. The original games had a very specific style. GTA 3 had that gritty, dark tone, Vice City had its neon-soaked atmosphere, and San Andreas had fog that gave the world depth and mystery. But in the definitive edition, a lot of that was gone. San Andreas in particular felt empty without its signature fog, and the new clean visuals just didn't fit the mood. Fans called it lifeless compared to the PS2 versions. Another issue was the rain effect. It was basically unplayable at times. I mean, it looked like white streaks covering the entire screen, making it hard to see anything. And on top of that, simple things like signs and billboards had text that looked stretched or badly reworked. And to make things worse, Rockstar had removed the original versions of the trilogy from digital stores, so fans couldn't even buy the old versions anymore. The backlash was immediate. Fans review bombed the game heavily, calling it one of Rockstar's worst releases. The collection got some of the lowest user scores on Metacritic ever. In response, Rockstar publicly apologized, they promised fixes, and eventually removed Grove Street Games from their projects in all credits. From there, Rockstar's own developers started patching it, and did they do a good job? I think they did. Fast forward to September 2025 and it's nearly 4 years since that rocky launch. So how does the trilogy look now? Honestly, much better than before, but it's still not perfect. The biggest improvement was the addition of the classic lighting option. This brought back the old atmosphere fans loved, the fog in San Andreas, moodier skies, and visuals closer to the original, but with modern upgrades so it can keep up to today's standards. I mean, one thing I do remember was the draw distance was way too high on the original trilogy, but Rockstar added the fog to make the city bigger because you could just see everything, and then people finally realized the map of San Andreas is actually smaller than they originally thought, but it was a step in the right direction, and a clear sign Rockstar was listening to the fans, finally. Performance was also cleaned up massively. The game doesn't crash as often anymore, frame rate is more stable, and those game-breaking physics bugs that sent players flying into the sky have been patched. Driving does feel smoother, shooting feels more reliable, and both GTA 3 and Vice City now lets you run and shoot at the same time, something fans had wanted since day one of the remasters. Character models and animation also saw fixes. CJ, Tommy, and Claude looked much better compared to how they did in 2021, though some NPCs still look a bit off. Animations like crouching and running were reworked, so they felt less awkward. Cutscenes also now ran without constant visual bugs, and even rain and weather effects had been balanced so you can actually see during a storm. Rockstar also improved little details like interiors, reflections, fire effects, and signage. Nothing groundbreaking though, but enough to make the games feel polished rather than broken. And while missing soundtracks haven't returned due to licensing, the original package now feels something closer to a proper remaster, and what the fans wanted in the first place. Well, what I wanted. So, after 4 years, is this the trilogy fans were hoping for back in 2021? For me, the answer is yes, at least to an extent. These games finally feel stable, playable, and worthy of their legacy that Rockstar created back in the day. It captures that nostalgic feel of the originals while adding modern improvements like better controls and cleaner visuals, but they still aren't perfect. Some NPCs do look kind of weird, a few small glitches pop up here and there, and the missing music still stings. But compared to the disaster at launch, the trilogy today is in a much better state. As we're recording this, you can pick it up for around £20 on sale across multiple platforms. At that price, I think it's worth giving it another chance, especially if you haven't revisited these classics in years. But if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe. And if you want to see what Rockstar could add to GTA 6's online mode with ideas from the fans, click the video on screen now. And I'll see you in the next one.